Binance prioritized its profits over the safety of the American people. In part because of the crimes it committed, Binance became the largest cryptocurrency exchange in the world. Now, Binance is paying one of the largest corporate penalties in U.S. history.
Well, that was Attorney General Merrick Garland today on the latest blow to the crypto world since last year's implosion of FTX. Changpeng Zhao, the CEO and founder of Binance, the largest global cryptocurrency exchange, is now set to plead guilty to violating U.S. criminal anti-money laundering laws. That's according to a newly unsealed court document. Zhao will pay a $50 million fine and step down as chief executive of the company that he created. I want to bring back our panel here. Mike, LZ, Elizabeth, and joining us right now is Brian Buckmeyer, ABC News contributor and trial attorney. Thank you all for being here. Brian, let's start with you. Tell us exactly what this plea deal entails and what were the litany of accusations against him.
Yeah, Changpeng Zhao was accused of many crimes, but ultimately he pled guilty to failure to maintain an effective anti-money laundering program. Basically, no one knew who could be trading on his platform at any given time. It went as shocking to believe that countries such as Iran or Russia, who are barred based on embargoes from trading into American markets, Binance could have allowed them to come in, but this is the plea that they took the plea of guilt to. Both the CEO, who's now you're saying is stepping down, but I might add is still going to be in majority ownership of the company and might be able to actually run it after 2 years of monitoring and also pay the hefty fine from Binance, $4.3 billion.
Oh, wow. So he could be back. And there are accusations here that essentially this let, bad actors like ISIS and Al-Qaeda essentially transact their money freely over this market, which is a very scary thing right now. Elizabeth, how big of a blow, though, is this to the cryptocurrency world, especially after Sam Bankman-Fried's conviction earlier this year on fraud charges?
Well, Kena, when you look at the most popular cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it traded lower today on Wall Street, but hardly. And that a little bit speaks to how this world is so volatile. People who invest in cryptocurrency are used to these huge, wild swings back and forth. And even a major headline like this, the biggest fine ever for the world's biggest cryptocurrency platform, a lot of these investors are in this and they're really committed. But for the average investor, you look at an asset like this and you say, wow, the CEO really didn't take steps to protect my money. They didn't really want to do anti-money laundering tactics. And you say, is this really an investment that feels safe? And I think the reality from regulators here is they're looking at cryptocurrency, whether it's Binance or FTX, which really were the two most prolific cryptocurrency exchanges, and they're saying these were not regulated enough. The people at the helm of these organizations got away with a lot, and there has been a clear crackdown here in Washington when it comes to taking a look at those agencies, and that certainly translates to people who are trying to figure out if that's something where they'd want to put their own money.
Right, Mike, I want you to respond to that. I mean, how does the average investor look at this?
Yeah, I mean, again, Elizabeth teed it up perfectly, too, as well. This does not bode well for the cryptocurrency sector of those who are creating cryptocurrency and investors, because they've always wanted limited regulations on the currency, which is what the government and other politicians have been calling for, because it is such a difficult market to regulate. So this doesn't play well for that argument of less regulation. The thing about this is that it is such a volatile asset. That is why the government has wanted to get involved with it, to ensure that the average retail investor doesn't come up short with all their income being invested into this space that is so volatile. The other thing that is challenging about this that doesn't bode well is that cryptocurrency and digital currency has always been for the democratization of currency, democratization for the investor, and the democratization of people being able to trade money freely, in particular in other third world countries where getting money to loved ones and family is difficult. What this did was, by them getting around the Bank Secrecy Act, it exasperated the fears of bad actors being able to store their money, do transactions with their money, in particular to places like Syria, right? By them not knowing the identities of their foreign, but really they knew and they went out of their way to avoid it, which doesn't bode well for the idea of things being transparent.
Right, when you think about terrorist organizations just freely moving money around. LZ, as Elizabeth mentioned, the first cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, was released in 2009. This is an industry that is growing so fast, even though sometimes a lot of people still don't even understand exactly how it works. What's your take on Bitcoin in general?
This is shady. This is so shady. Think about this for a second, right? So I just recently gave a lecture to my classroom about the Panama Papers and all the corruption that was exposed in the Panama Papers, right? Tax evasion, money laundering, the exact conversation we're having right now. The Panama Papers brought down world leaders, and it was released in 2016. And this man started this company in 2017 and was able to make so much money that he's been able to pay the largest fine in U.S. history.
Yeah.
Please explain something to me. Like, this is why we have income inequality, right? Like, how is it possible that you have the Panama Papers, have David Cameron have to resign as prime minister, and then the very next year he starts this company because he's not bothered by the punitive damages that can happen if he gets caught? The system's game. That's what this is.
And to Brian's point earlier, I mean, he could come back and start running this company again? That seems unbelievable.
Absolutely. It's quite remarkable that all this happened during the Trump administration, too, by the way. 2017, he was supposed to be tough on all of this, drain the swamp, and literally the swamp was built up during his administration. This is hilarious.
And Kana, it's really interesting. It's so fascinating because this space, by the way, the world of Bitcoin, it kind of went originally, it was seen as this kind of dark money, cryptic thing. And then it was really popular. Like, a lot of 401ks had Bitcoin in them for a while. It was a normal investment. And now we seem to be a little bit veering back towards, ooh, this is a little bit shady, as LZ said.
But this is also, too, an example.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Mike, to you, I mean, we saw athletes taking their entire salaries in Bitcoin at one point.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What we have to look at is just an imbalance of individuals who are involved in digital currency right now. And Binance actually had 2/3 of all the digital trades in there. What we need to see is more of an influx of individuals who are willing to create better platforms of trading in order to create balance and parity so that there are good actors in this space. I know a lot of good people who are in this space, who are creating technology, who mean well and who are doing well. It's just that when you get one company that has 2/3 of the currency trades in there, it creates unbalance so that when they do get caught flat-footed, it does cause harm to the industry as a whole. But this isn't to put a black mark on the entire industry as a whole, because it is actually meant to create equity for those who have disadvantage, in particular when it comes to accessing currency, for those who are unbanked, for those who have difficulty getting Western unions to third world countries, because when they do go to Western unions, they are held at gunpoint and robbed for the money when they come back with cash out of the store. And so this is really why digital currency was invested for that space too as well. So I want to make sure that we put the whole conversation in its totality and not this one bad actor that ruins the entire idea of digital currency.
I agree 100%, Mike. I think of it more along the lines of like baseball, right? So we had the steroid era, right? And the punishment wasn't hard enough because guys continue to use steroids and make all the money for big contracts because the punishment for getting caught wasn't hard enough to deter behavior. So my feelings are, until we get to the point in which you can deter behavior, yes, you are always going to get these guys who are going to try to use steroids in baseball. But the stronger and the more stringent the penalty, the less apt they're willing to do it. So when it comes to cryptocurrency, I say we need stronger fines so that there aren't these temptations in place, so that the good that comes from Bitcoin can happen and that there are fewer bad actors, to your point.
But baseball is still America's favorite game, and steroids throughout every sport.
Well, let's see how this $50 million fine plays out, guys. Mike, LZ, Elizabeth, and Brian, thanks to all of you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.